Okay. So, last we left off, our party had, at the start of the episode, just defeated a big, monstrous, draconian creature with three mages taunting a tiny Etten that managed to get away, not knowing when it would become big size again. Scavenging over the dead mages, one that you had encapsulated in the bead of force. You didn't find too much on them, apart from a couple of daggers, a couple of used spell scrolls, and some moonstone that had been plucked off the side of the cavern. Some still jagged, some carved and smooth, like they had been utilized into tools, as such, or apparel. Going after this combat, there was a couple of options, a couple of different ways. There was going back up into the bright, luminous, what looked like a mushroom cavern that Molokov was feeling a lot of pain from, as opposed to the help feeling that Hera had. That was clearly coming from the Etten. You could go back up to the north, which Ghost had discovered that there were some prisoners or something along those lines. At least a patrol was happening with a little infiltrator dragon. Or you could go south and follow the Etten in the way that it ran off. The party decided that they would investigate the pain coming from the luminous mushroom cavern first. And upon getting in there, there was a crevice. Easy work for our halfling rogue, who swung across and had a slow-mo moment coming face to face with a Grick snake up in the ceiling. Landing on the other side, combat ensued as two of these monstrous beasts came down from the ceiling and tried to take their feed of the party, but they were swiftly dealt with, both of them getting pushed down the crevice for Hera to miss out on whatever they may have held. But nonetheless, on the other side of this crevice was a humanoid figure that had been ripped in half. The bottom of them missing. This man/mushroom was embedded into the rocks with almost a crown of mushroom atop its head. Talking through their minds, this Myconid sovereign communicated with Puck and informed them that further into this cave, the one that they were currently in, was where the Moon Mother rested, and where she is currently in pain and unhelpful. Not unhelpful, but like not in a good position.
Helpless.
Helpless. That's the word I was looking for. But in knowing that knowledge, you figure that through this cave is also probably some bad foes prepping or getting ready for whatever is to come tomorrow. The Sovereign also pointed to a big gash in his collarbone where it was missing, and said that after the attack and after they had been corrupting and disrupting their caves, they had taken his collarbone and now have control over the other Myconids in the caves. This would probably be quite important to get before venturing into the Moon Mother and having some assistance, possibly. So, backing up and moving out of the cave, everyone kind of got the feeling of relief, as they didn't realize that the hallucinogens of the mushrooms had not been taking any effect, but stepping out of the cave made your minds just a little bit more clearer, like having a mint and drawing in a breath on a cold day. So now the options were aplenty. Ghost came up with a device of some sorts that shimmered Puck out of existence as he cast invisibility on him. And taking a short rest, which Molokov, I guess you could add a short rest if you needed to. Puck decided to go off and do some scouting while the rest of the party stayed put in one location. Now, what Puck discovered were a couple of options. Running off and being sneaky, undetected the whole time. Puck went north and found the patrolling Draconians were watching over about a handful of sleeping Dragonborn. What looked like Dragonborn farmers, civilians, and one of them started to stir as the patrolling Draconian went across and reached into their pocket and sprinkled some what looked like dust over them, and they fell back asleep. Scouting around, they Puck discerned that these were probably being used for some sort of purpose, or maybe they were waiting to be taken somewhere for the ritual. I'm talking 15 to 20 of these Dragonborn were asleep.
Did anyone, if no one asked, I just wanted, was there anything like correlation to colors and stuff that was noted, or nothing?
Of the Dragonborn?
Yeah.
No, they just look like, they look like the ones that you had met in the previous cave. It seems like these have been brought up from the village, and they are being kept here for a purpose that is not yet clear. So, coming back and walking past the rest of the party, all having their rest, Puck didn't stop and carried on down the other way. The first room, or cave that he approached, had a lot of blood stains on the ground. That looked not so fresh, but not completely dried. And on one end of the cave, there was a dead aberration with one big eye in the middle and stalks coming out with eyes on the end. Not moving, cut up and dead. And on the other side of the room was a at least 15-foot tall pile of gleaming gold and gems and scrolls and all kind of treasures. Showing a very nice form of restraint, Puck left that room without touching anything, and carried on to the sound of the water running. And that is what we are seeing here. As he poked his head through the hole, saw a lot of little mushroom, almost toadstools, dragging their feet and moving things into barrels as they continued up into this area up here, which you can't quite see at the time of investigating, and hearing squishes and cutting noises as it seems like the mushrooms are being commanded to put their essence into the water, and you see a makeshift pipe that is flowing this green sludge down the river out of the caves, coming to the realization that this might be the cause of the sickness that has been plaguing the land, or at least part of it. Commanding these mushrooms, myconids, was a draconian soldier that is covered in plate mail. Around his neck, you saw a purplish collarbone that he picked up and blew through in a certain frequency. And the myconids changed direction and started all moving in sync and somewhere else. This draconian looked aware. He looked intelligent. Yes, he is probably still following orders, but this one is not a grunt by any means. So, going back to the group, Puck explained the three options. and they decided that now is a better time than ever to get this collarbone and at least have that on their side. So the party all squeezed up through the tunnel, and we're talking, it gets quite narrow, and so everyone kind of pushes up against each other where you are now. If we can, there we go. See that. Puck and Ghost, that's right. Puck and Ghost had a moment of, if not now, then when. There's no point in saving resources when resources can save us. So, another canister of invisibility put onto Puck. He shimmers out of existence. Starts moving across the battlefield. Rolls a natural 20 on his stealth roll for like a total of 30-something. The Myconids, who are one with the ground, do not feel his presence swiftly move past them as he hops over the rock in the middle of the water, not touching it. Arcing his way up around to this Draconian before situating himself right under his chin, crouching down with his boots, and springing up. As he does, he grabs the collarbone, rips it off the neck of the Draconian. The invisibility drops. He aims his hook to the left side of the map, the eastern side of the map, and pulls himself over. And that is where we're going to roll initiative.
Beautiful. Love to hear it.
Oh god, I'm not frozen, am I?
No?
Alright,
I
good.
think so.
My whole setup's panicking at the moment, so if I suddenly disappear, I'm sorry.
Can't deal with this pressure.
Apparently not. Initiative roll.
Okay, let me just move that over there. So let's start with a nice puck roll.
23.
23. Look at him go.
Who knows puck roll?
Ghost.
That's an 18.
It's an 18. High rolls. Hear it.
It's a high roll for hero. It's a 15.
Wow, look at this
Oh,
go.
Cool.
Envy doesn't get one.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. I've
You
just
also got an 18.
Yes. Sorry, what was yours? Puck 23, 18, 15, and Molokov?
12.
12.
Hey.
It's not bad still.
Not bad at all.
And Reese, just to clarify, we're still doing that advantage, like one advantage kind of thing? Or
yeah.
how does it work in combat with...
Yep, so one advantage for a combat, and then one advantage out of combat for the session.
Cool.
I was going to say,
Is that per person, or is that...
Per person.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
So you've each got an inspiration, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
I was thinking that actually after last session, instead of using the inspiration that I actually have, I would have used one of those
That's fine.
advantages.
That's fine. Okay, cool. A dirty 20 for the Draconian. As you rip the collarbone off and you just zip to the other side, and he goes, "Ugh, a thief in the night! A thief!" As he roars through the cavern. You land and you get to go first.
Yeah. Zoom off, land there. Can I have a quick look at what the Myconids are doing?
Sure. Give me a no check needed. They are kind of all just stopped, but they don't seem to. It's a bit hard to read their faces. They don't really have faces or anything, but they do seem to have stopped moving or are coming to a stop because this is all kind of happening at once.
All right. And my other question is trying to blow the horn, would that be an object interaction or would that be an action?
That would be an action, as you're not really sure what this way it is, or it's quite, you don't know what it is. So yes, it'd be an action.
Okay. I think I'm just going to try it. I'm going to think really hard of get the Draconian and blow the horn, and that'll be my action.
Sure. As you kind of look at this thing, quickly put it up to your mouth, and just think really hard and blow through it. Can I get a wisdom check from you, please?
Oh, that's a nat 20. I don't think I'm very good at them, though. Okay, so that makes it 22.
Well, with a nat 20, you do beat the DC, and you blow through it, and you're thinking, get the Draconian. As you see all the Myconids kind of start turning towards them.
Okay. Cool. All right, well, that was my action. So for my bonus action, I'm going to use cunning action, and I'm going to hide. So I'm going to move. Is this like vertical sort of stuff, like so that I could hide behind?
Yeah, if you get up here, you could.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll just use my movement to get myself around behind there and hide.
Sure. Give me a stealth check for that hide action.
Stealth of 22.
22. Very nice. All right, is that all?
Yeah, that's all I can do. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. As he finishes roaring, he notices that you have moved from that position and just snarls as he draws out these two serrated swords. And he is going to jump over here as he beats his wings. And comes over. He's going to do a perception check to try and beat your 22 as he looks for you. Perception is... So it's a dirty 20 as you feel him like looking in your direction before his eyes just dart off in another. And I don't believe he has seen everyone that is still hiding in the hole there. So what he'll do is he will hold an action. Ghost, you're up.
Wonderful.
As you see, like, Pucker's got away from this guy, and now he is on the chase.
Yep. And this is kind of what Ghost was prepared for. Pokes his nose out of the tunnel, pulls a small squishy blue bead out from the pocket of his was going to try and make this into an invention, but oh fuck it. And throws it straight at the Draconian. We're using a bead of force.
Very nice. As you throw it, you see as the Draconian is kind of like hurled up, his nostrils are flaring. As you poke your head out, his eyes dart towards you, and a dagger flicks your way. So, gonna roll to hit first.
Do they collide?
Crossing
and there's a dagger stuck in a bit of force.
So no, they don't collide, as he's not aiming for you. As the dagger punctures the Myconid near you, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, it's not bad. But it's a 22.
That did not bad at 22. Here I am looking at the DC. The spores pump up, and you kind of just blow them away as they kind of disperse, and this Myconid kind of starts faltering down to the ground.
No, not Stu.
Stu's cousin. No effect takes place. Your bead of force launches. Let's go resolve that.
That is a DC 15 dex check on his behalf, I believe. Let me just pull up the item.
A dex check.
Dex save, sorry.
Dex save. That's a 17 on the dice.
Ooh.
That'll pass.
Failed the save, is completely blah blah blah. Push away from students, I believe it's a save or suck. There's nothing about taking half damage.
Okay. So the bead kind of goes to the rock behind him, and now he like turns to you and goes, "More thieves!"
Second. I continue my movement around just to end up on the side of this rock here.
Yep.
And get Envy to jump on out and start heading in his direction.
Very nice, very nice.
40. Yep. Cool. That's all.
That is all she wrote. That brings us to Hera.
Puck is a little bit stuck. Moment. I think we need to just sort of. How much fucking inventory do I have left? Not a lot. That's fantastic. That's nice. Okay. Over there. Oh, but I want to do this. They're sort of trying to hold up against the wall.
Yep.
And he still hasn't seen Puck or anything. He's just seen.
No one's seeing Puck at this moment.
Yeah, I suppose I probably look up there and can't see Puck and go, "Oh, fuck, where have you gone?" I am going to hold an action.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to sort of pull myself up and start muttering under my breath and sort of holding a sort of energy in my hands, and I'm sort of trying to get a read on this guy. And if he starts moving towards us, I'm going to cast Khorvaire.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to
Good
hold
call.
Khorvaire.
He definitely is looking your direction as he's assessing these thieves that are coming into his room, but he has not started moving yet. But you held the action. Molokov, you're up.
Love.
He's back.
He's back. Right. Need to try and figure out how to move on the phone. Excellent. 1.
If you want to just ping where you want to go, I can move him as well.
No, that worked.
Nice.
And I believe that puts me well within 60 feet of him.
It sure
so
does.
Molokov is like
You're in 30
trudging
feet.
forward. Yeah, lovely. As he's sort of like trudging forward. Oh, I can almost do something else. Nah, some of this. He's like looking through a little pouch where he'd been putting his little rune marked ball bearings. Picks one up, drops another. Brilliant. Drops one in a little tube and pulls a chain and fires off. This, and as it's sort of flying through the air, almost looks like it's catching fire and hits his chainmail and almost starts melting into it, making the whole thing glow red.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to cast on his chainmail.
Heat metal.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't believe he gets to save on anything that matters for this.
Yep.
Because the only save involved in that involves trying to hold on to your weapon.
Yep.
Which doesn't matter when it's your armor.
Doesn't matter.
So I believe he just takes 10 points of fire damage.
10 points of fire damage.
And will have disadvantage on essentially whatever he tries to do.
I'd like to see that written down, please. Disadvantage on essentially whatever he tries to do.
Yeah, I'll try to find the
Yeah, no, all good.
Disadvantage on attacks and abilities. So not saving throws.
Yep, cool.
Still normal on saving throws.
Love it. Yeah, you see the plate mail just starting to heat up as he starts to cause some burns on the inside. But that does bring us to the Myconids. And they have been given an instruction. So, this might take a little bit of time, but each of them move 10 feet towards them. We will resolve these two in a second. Okay, as these two get towards him, they are both going to exude out some spores. And I believe... No, you're out of range, Puck. You don't need to make a save. He passes both of the saves, so nothing takes effect. But they don't die for this one. But that does bring us around to Puck.
Are those spores hanging in the air?
Thematically, yes. Mechanically, no.
Yeah, cool. All right, well...
It's almost like a puff, and then they kind of disperse, yeah.
Yeah. I think... So I'm hidden.
You sure
Doesn't
are.
really matter, 'cause he's got hostiles within 5 feet of him anyway. I'm just gonna shoot him twice with the hand crossbow, and I'll use sneak attack on. I suppose my first attack, because he doesn't know where I am, he's at advantage, so I'll take that. If that's all right. Cool. So that's a 15 plus a lot. 15 plus a 9, 24 to hit.
24 will hit. Go for damage.
Right, and then damage plus sneak attack. You can have D4. Sorry.
Now, do you reckon this reveals your position?
I think that it certainly lets him know pretty much where I am. I don't know if it means he knows exactly where I am, but a direction. Else, it would be something. Yeah, he'd have like advantage or something to spot me. I think it does reveal me though.
Go again, Ian.
I think the ruling is that I actually don't know if it's an official. I know it's actually, to be fair, it's Matt Mercer rule is that if you attack, you've revealed. But
I think that makes enough
sense.
sense.
Direction at least. So yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
You're no longer hidden. You'd have to hide again.
Gotcha.
Hidden.
That is 20 points of piercing.
My God.
Yeah, sneak attack's real nice.
Oh, not 200.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Little hand crossbow. The whole thing is just dynamite.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that finds its way to like a gap in the plate armor and does a little bit of damage.
Great, and then I'll shoot again.
Go for it. And this will just be a straight roll.
Won't be an advantage. That's even better to hit. That's 27 to hit.
27 will hit.
And 11 points of piercing.
Yep.
And then I'm going to just keep running away from him. So I'm going to lead him on his merry way. I'm going to get maybe over to here. Hello, dog. And then I want to use zipline out a bit. I don't know how much first. So that was 20. I've got a total movement of 30. That's 20 feet. I want to move sort of just in like that kind of direction.
So this is the gap. I'll move him out of the way. Like this is where you came out. This little gap here.
Oh, there's no. Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't see this sticky. Okay, cool. I'll move back quickly.
So he's kind of standing in the entranceway. It's kind of 30 feet up.
All right. Well, in that case, I just want to.
Put it this way.
Okay.
He's probably going to try swing up at you if you try and go over him.
Yeah, I'm actually going to move around to the back of the barrels and just get cover at least.
Sure. As you move back around these barrels, you see that the Myconids have been putting themselves into the barrels and sealing them up. And obviously, it's very hard to draw, but the contraption is that it obviously just starts squeezing them and producing out these spores into goo. Imagine there's a couple of cogs and moving crane arms and stuff up here as well.
He's milking them. Cool.
Pr-
All right.
Pretty much.
That's my turn.
Okay, cool. His turn. Right. What are you gonna do, buddy? Yes. He looks out to the barrels and looks back to the party that is coming towards them, and he's going to roll a athletics check. Twice. As he grunts and smashes his hands down and throws 2 of the mushrooms down at the party below. And one will go to Envy because he's closest. So I need Molokov and Envy to make Constitution saves, please.
Ah, cool. I'll do that.
Envy got a nat 20.
Nice.
Not that good though. An 8.
An 8.
Ooh.
So one explodes around Envy and no effect is taken. Molokov,
Doesn't have
however,
lungs.
doesn't have lungs. Which actually could probably come into it, but one does land near Molokov, who very much does have lungs, not replace those with mechanical replacements just yet. You start to, as the spores come up around your nose, you start to blink a couple of times and you see the draconian up the top almost start wavering, and then it seems like it takes on some fur and starts looking like Hera, but then it starts looking like Ghost. And you know these things can shape change, but you're pretty sure this isn't it doing it as you start to hallucinate. So for 1 minute, you are incapacitated and need to make a Constitution save at the end of each turn.
Whoa. I believe that means he stopped burning, because incapacitated means drop con.
But that is his action, and then he's going to... Yeah, he's going to move up into here.
He's gonna attempt to move,
True.
Aha!
but I suppose that is still to be away from me.
I'll allow it. He's coming towards your party. You know he's going for Buck.
Yeah, I was gonna say he will still be able to move though, even if because he just can't get closer to me, I think. But seeing that he is going to go for Puck, I will release it, and seeing that Molokov's spell has dropped with his lack of concentration, I'll almost take that into account of my spell, and I'll squeeze my hands together, and no one else can see it, but in his mind, his armor will heat up again, and then flames will actually start licking out of the armor, and as if he's catching himself on fire, and he'll have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck yeah. Oh, that's a 6 for a total of 6.
That will fail. He thinks he's on fire, and I will be just holding my palms together like that and muttering words.
Yep. He looks down to you, and even with all his gusto, you see his eyes start darting, and it drives his need to get this back, but also he's shaking in his boots. But yeah, he will move up here around to Puck. As he's kind of like, he knows you're in these barrels, and he's kind of like pushing some aside, but he hasn't come close enough to you yet to come in range. But that does bring us to Ghost.
Sure does. Oh, sure does. Hoo-wee. What to do with this fool? How high is this? Do I still have vision of him from down here with this ledge?
No, so let me just draw, like, the wall goes like there and there to the ceiling, and that gap.
Oh, I see.
That,
So that's a gap.
And it's
Okay,
a 5 foot
okay,
gap, so it won't
okay.
take any extra movement to climb up there. Just, you kind of hop up.
Yep. I guess I'll run forward. It's about all I can do at the moment. 29, 30 feet. Yep, right next to this Myconid. Ooh, do I have a bit of line of sight on him from there?
If the line allows it.
Where?
Oh,
Ooh,
you know what? I'll allow it.
you'll allow it?
That's hitting a square. Yeah, that's hitting a square.
All I need is a glimpse.
His tail's like...
Yeah. So aiming at his tail, my eyes will flash red and it'll sort of hit the base of his tail, and I can see it run up his spine, but I don't know what happens after that. We're just using a mind sliver on him.
Ooh.
Is that what that spell's called? Yes, it is indeed.
Yep.
Intelligence saving throw.
That is a 15 total.
That will pass. DC 14.
Nice. Yeah, so the mind's
So nothing happens.
You don't feel it quite connect.
But Envy will continue to run on in and do what she was told to do.
Nice.
Sick him. Maybe not though, with a 13 to hit.
13, Envy bites out and metal on metal just grates as her teeth goes down the plate armor.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Do it. That's it.
That's it. Cool. Hera, you're up.
I will just have to move myself as far as I can, so I'm going to actually get myself up on that pipe there,
Nice.
and so that I can maintain concentration and sort of I'm going to looking at the area, think about it, and essentially I'm going to try and trap him in there. So because if he
Yeah.
can't move towards me, I'm just going to stand at the edge of that corner and just sort of be holding and muttering and
Yeah, nice.
keeping concentration.
So now you get the glimpse as well that these barrels all contain mushed up mushrooms, basically, and spores that are liquefied and getting distributed into the water, but they still obviously will have the same effect. This is what's causing the sickness, is the hallucinogene, paralyzing spores.
Actually, yeah, thinking about, because I can still cast other spells
Just
while
not.
concentrating. I just can't concentration spells.
Yep.
Suppose, yeah, while he's still in there, I will just cast a chill touch on him as well. I'll sort of
Nice.
put one hand up and like open my hands from the concentration and almost push some more energy out before going back and holding it back in. So that's going to be a fuck. Like an 11.
You focus it on it and let the spell out, but it kind of goes a little bit wide as he's like still like moving some of these barrels out of the way, and he doesn't even notice it fly behind him.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I'll just sort of try and focus on this. On the fair. But that'll be all.
Nice. Molokov, end of your turn, can you make a constitution saving throw?
Lovely. I'm always going to flavor it as. I've named him, by the way. I haven't said anything yet. His name's Kaida.
Kaida?
I'm going to name. Flavor this as him helping me here, as the free advantage. I feel like I need to get out of this, and that's a 24.
24. You flavor it. You're coming out of this hallucinogen as you see the current battlefield as it is now.
Lovely. I believe that's still the end of my turn, though.
It sure is.
Kinda slaps me away.
Yep. That does bring us to the Myconids, who still have an instruction, I believe. Ghost, would you like to opportunity attack this one leaving your space?
I'll let it slide this time.
These ones start moving closer. And I believe that was all of them. Yes. Okay, so back to the top of the round. Puck. Things are closing in around you.
That's just the way he likes it. All right. Puck is going to dart out to here and going to slash with his rapier.
Nice. Appear out of nowhere, just start going for it.
And is that with advantage because of flanking?
Yes, it will be.
Fantastic. Best of those two is a total of 19 to hit.
19. As you like pop out of this these barrels and swing up, your rapier gleams off the plate armor.
All right, and then I'll shoot with my hand crossbow.
All right, you switch and try and pull the trigger up. Go for attack.
Yep. Hey, that's a nat 20.
The nat 20 will make
dice.
contact.
This dice, I'm going to keep using that one. That's the one I rolled one before. All right, I'm going to use sneak attack on the damage.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. Am I rolling enough dice for my sneak attack? No, I'm not rolling enough dice. I got to add a whole another dice.
More. Plus, it was a nat 20. Remember as well.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yep. Wait. Just give me a second. All right. So that is.
Your rapier, you're just like, fuck this thing.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. So that's 16 plus 6. So 22 plus. 22 plus 18, 19, 20, 22, 24 plus 22 is that right? Is that right? Hang on. I automatically do
All your dice.
24. Yeah, I automatically do 24 plus. I automatically do 30 damage.
Plus your rolls.
3d6 for sneak attack, 1d6 for enhanced crossbow, plus 6 for the hit. So that's automatically 40 points of damage.
Yep.
No, 30. Sorry, 30 points of damage.
30.
Yeah, 30 points of damage plus 16 points of damage. So 46 points of damage.
40. Please take us on a cinematic journey. Just because it's so much, like.
Yeah. Is he dead?
Yes, he's dead. He's
okay. Cool. Okay, cool. I was like, that changed.
He's died in the afterlife, like that.
Puck comes out just as these metal like teeth glance off the armor that is itself glowing with a white, red, hot. He doesn't look like he's on fire to Puck, but he certainly looks like he's uncomfortable and it's searing into him. And Puck kind of charging out. With the rapier comes in to stab and goes for the jugular, but the gorget on the thing sort of glances that off. But as it goes through, Puck looks up with him with the hand crossbow, and he's kind of continuing in that momentum as he moves past. So he's missed, and the guy starts turning towards him back from from Envy, and then straight into the jugular, finds the gap right in there, and it kind of comes out the other side, and he just sort of falls over, and then as the blood collects under his body, it starts hissing as it touches the armor. It's still red hot.
Love it. As he just like collapses down to the ground. Okay. Let me wrap my head around this. So yeah, we're out of initiative. Kind of out of initiative.
That's stupid. That's so stupid. It's like I'm just like double checking my maths. I'm like, no, that's right.
That's right.
Far out.
Just let me get one attack in, players. As he falls down and just body slams into the ground, the two swords clatter, and the blood just starts pooling out and hissing as it starts touching the cooling down armor. The life leaves him. It's still your turn, Puck, but you see that the Myconids are still approaching.
Yep. If it's still my turn, that is my action and bonus action, so I can't really do anything else.
Yep.
But I will sort of grab the thing. I assume I've slung it like maybe over my shoulder or something like that. It was big enough to go around his neck. It's big enough to go around my whole body.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got the. I
double loops it.
Yeah, yeah. I clasp the myconid collarbone thing, ready to try and use that next turn.
Nice. So yeah, we're kind of in initiative, but not as you all start seeing these things still moving towards it. But yeah, we'll disregard initiative and just go free actions now. But just remember that they are moving closer to him, turn by turn. But if you want, you can just make it go right back round to Puck.
It goes to probably nip up here, trying to get a beat on what was happening, see all of this, and then go look back and I think it's about time for you to call him off.
Molokov coughs for his turn.
All right, go Puck.
Still like puff of.
Yep, I will. I think he's going to try and not blow it again, but he's just going to try and think it and see if that happens, and then otherwise he'll try and blow it and do it again.
Sure.
But I just sort of say, yeah, think to them, be at peace.
As you do, you get that the same kind of fuzzy feeling of thought happens, but it doesn't seem to take as much control. And then so you bring it up to your mouth and blow through the tune as you think through it. They all kind of just ease up a little bit. And if you would like, you can add a custom item. I haven't made it or anything, but collarbone. With a DC Wisdom check of 20, you can issue command.
I think the intention will be to give this back to the other guy.
It possibly is, but that's what it does for the moment.
Yep.
As you see them all kind of just like turn back, and again, they don't really have faces, these ones. So the expression is a bit hard to read, but they kind of just start milling about this place. Not obviously taking themselves to the slaughter, but they aren't really cleaning up or anything like that. They're just around.
I'll look at my party and I'll say, well, actually, I'm trying to... Ghost, would you help me with this? And I'm going to try and unplug the barrel that's currently emptying itself.
Sure.
Thematically, at least. Yeah. From polluting the water.
Yeah. You just want
to mess this is.
Pull it off the thing?
Yeah, like tip it up so it's not going to spill anywhere.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, get it so it stops polluting the water.
Yeah. Can you both give me a dexterity check to do that, please?
One each, or am I just providing assistance?
One each, please.
It's an 18.
15 plus 2, 17.
Nice. As you unplug it and tip it up, you see that a bit of it splashes around, but you don't get any on you, and kind of like seal it up as you do. And eventually you do notice that the gunk that is going into the water just slowly dissipates into a dribble, into a drip, and then just stops.
Well, hopefully that helps.
It'd stop toxifying the water supply, surely, so whatever's downstream will be fine, but what do we do with the antidote? Was that for this, or
I don't know.
For the Moon Mother?
The Moon Mother. There's still more to be done. Let's get back down to everyone, and I think we want to return this. And I'll say, holding the collarbone.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll move back down to the rest of the party.
Give me like 5 minutes. I'll make sure this thing can't be easily constructed again.
Okay.
I'll go through and start. I'll start systematically taking out like what I see as bolts at key points and like flipping certain elements so that if you were to try and reassemble again, they're just not quite right.
Yep.
Like just spending 5 minutes just deconstructing these crane elements and kind of what's the word when you manipulate something. Yeah, that's the one.
Sabotage it. Yep. Sure. Give me a intelligence check when you're doing that.
I'm rolling a lot of 15s today. Plus 4, 19.
19. Quite easily done. You see how it's been set up, kind of crudely, but you know there is some brains behind it. You spend a bit of time getting your tools out and disassembling things, turning crates around the other way. You can tell that most of these are full, unfortunately, but you can still stand them up and kind of store them at the back of the cave, so they're not going to leak into the, you know, the natural crevices and stuff like that. But you do disassemble any of the mechanics that are putting this thing together. So now the cave is left with, yeah, a disassembled mechanism, a body, and crates that are all upright. But Puck, you get into the... Oh, go on.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I've got a minute while I'm doing so, I'll go to the one that Puck and I had tipped up. That was sort of, I guess, more open than the rest. And using a pair of forging tongs, see if I can get a vial of the liquid.
Sure. So as you do, you put it in the vial and make sure it's dry before getting it up. I'm going to say the vial is either for like one use of throwing or maybe a couple of uses of applying. It is pacifying spores. It is a DC 15 con save or be stunned for 1 minute.
Stunned, not incapacitated. That's worse.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
For how long, sorry?
1 minute.
I'm looking forward to that being thrown into the mouth of the dragon at some point.
but
It's repeat saving throw every turn. Yep. Cool. And once I've done that, I'll come back down to the party a few minutes later.
Sure. So while he's up doing that, yeah, Puck.
Yeah, I'd probably say so. Well, I mean, that's dealt with, and I think Ghost is just making sure that this can't happen, at least easily again. Shall we, when he's done, shall we go and take this? And the Mike and a collarbone thing. Shall we take this back to the Sovereign?
Yes.
I think he has a better chance at keeping all these things off us than we do.
Yes, well, he didn't seem like he had much time left, and maybe these others know how to take care of him a bit better than we did.
Yes,
I will.
not even
These things have never communicated back to me, have they? Like the ones in here.
No, they haven't.
I'm going to try and ask them if they can heal the Sovereign with the thing. If I have to blow a note, I do that again.
Okay. I'm going to ask for another wisdom check as you're just trying to kind of change the conversation tone.
Yep. Wisdom 16.
16. You get that they hear you, but don't quite understand what you're insinuating.
Okay.
These seem to be quite low on the scale of intelligence.
The kind of drones.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just tell them to follow me then.
Okay.
Once Ghost gets down, and I assume as a party we're planning to head back to the other guy.
Follow me. What were you saying, Dale?
I don't mean to be the what's the word? Fuck it. You mentioned there was a room with a bunch of Dragonborn in it.
Yes.
Those guys are still active. We made a lot of noise here.
True.
That's something we should deal with.
A bit of a distance, but I think we should see if we can get this Sovereign at least in one piece and hopefully healed, and then we can go back.
Aye. I'll keep an eye on our tail.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Dale?
When just before, I think I have the same thing, just to go back to the dude and get the collarbone back.
All right. So, as you kind of make sure everything is not going to continue operation at this point, it's probably worth noting now that everything is kind of quieting down a little bit, and now the only sound is the water moving rather than any machinery or Myconid moving around or his plate mail. You can hear that just south of this river, maybe the chirp of a bird or something, that this would probably lead outside quite quickly. But noticing that, you turn and face the tunnel back into the mountains and start going down.
So sorry, DM. This was the tunnel that the Eden had run down.
Yes.
Yeah. And we haven't found him yet.
No, you have not. As you start moving back up the tunnel, you are met again with that golden glow off to the side, kind of reflecting off the tops of the caverns. And if I'm not mistaken, you continue back to the main cavern. Entering into... Oop. There we go. Entering back into the luminous cavern, you're met with still the feeling of pain, Molokov. Understanding that it's been communicated telepathically through the walls. But I think everyone kind of notices as well that the glow is dimming quite constantly throughout this whole cave. As you met, you cross the crevice once again, and the Sovereign sits up a little bit, acknowledging that you are back.
We've returned, and we have this. And I'll offer him the the collarbone.
Looks down at it slowly, and with a lot of effort, he pulls his arm out. Now it looks like he's decomposing almost. And it's been a couple of hours since you were in with him. Looks up and extends his hand and kind of takes it off you. As you do, you see the little sprouts kind of gripping around it before his fingers do. He moves it up to his collar and kind of doesn't like click it into place, but as he does, you see like the two ends of the tendrils reaching out and trying to stitch it back together. You all hear in your heads his voice come through again. Thank you. This means I can speak to my people again. And we can try and assist your efforts. Tell me when, and I will give my energy.
I think you might have a bit of time to try and heal for a little bit more. There's some others that we need to go and try and rescue. But we will be back, and we will want to go and get to the Moon Mother. You know how to get there?
He kind of starts looking behind him. Yes. But she is not well. You will need all your strength. They came here to destroy. They came here to reach beyond. Kind of gives a sigh and sits back a little bit.
I'll turn and look at the party and I'll say, I don't know about you, I'm all good. I'm happy to keep going, but I'm not sure that everyone else is in the same boat. Do we want to try and rescue these Dragonborn, or do we need to rest? Do we do this now, or do we do this after a rest, and then rest when we come back to go see the Moon Mother?
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Moon Mother and Dragonborn aren't in the same
No,
direction.
different locations.
Yeah. In that case, yeah. I think we go for the Dragonborn first. Seems like a more time sensitive. Perhaps we get them out and the way enough, whatever it is.
All right. I can take you back that way.
Sorry, go louder.
What was
Dale.
that, Dave?
Sorry, it gets quite dusty in the mountains. You see, I was just saying I'm always fond of a nap, but if we want to keep going, I can do that. I'll keep up with you guys.
All right, let's try and get these Dragonborn safe. I'll describe what I saw last time.
Sure.
There is one Dragonborn, not Draconian, sorry, and then it kind of goes in. There were two more overlooking the sleeping Dragonborn, and there was another one in the back, kind of patrolling. I think that if we can sneak up and take out the first one, then we can engage the others maybe quite quickly. Hopefully they don't try and kill any of the prisoners.
By the sounds of it, they must be saving them for whatever their ritual is tomorrow. So hopefully we have that on our side. We won't want to damage their goods.
Any other questions? Any other thoughts?
Well, I can't make you invisible again.
No, but that's all right. I think I know my way there, and with you lot behind me, I feel like it'll be safe enough.
I think I can help disable them, though. That maybe when we're in the next cabin.
Alright, so yeah, you make your way out, leaving the Sovereign behind, and it looks like, yeah, restoring the collarbone has helped him regain some strength, but it seems like the message he was putting across is his last bit of energy will be used to assist you when you need to.
Understood. What are the others doing, out of interest?
The other...
Myconids.
Oh, they followed you, that's right. That's even better. So, yeah, when they come into the...
like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a rave.
It's a rave. You're all at a rave that's like real low key, just like. No, they will start moving around.
Would you call it a cave rave?
I would call it a cave rave. They have spread out through the cavern, but you see that they don't go towards the south end. They seem to be avoiding that entrance, and I guess. Yeah, you get the sense they communicate telepathically that they are worried of what's through there. They all kind of commune together to try and give their energy to the Sovereign, but they know that they're almost kind of nurturing him in his last moments here. But yeah, they're avoiding that south end of the cave. But as you all kind of make your way out of this cave again, your minds feel a bit fresh. You have time away from any prying ears that you're aware of.
Once we're out of the Myconid cavern, I'll continue. The spores they were pressing from this Myconid, as fucking atrocious as that was, might help us here. I have a vial of it. Perhaps you can put a few drops on your bolts and see what happens.
You have
At least allow us to move to the room quickly if we can incapacitate them somehow.
Happy to try.
Go here.
That's about all I have to offer, outside of making a loud noise.
Yes, I didn't really have anything that'll help us in this situation, I don't think.
Sorry, Era, you're very mumbly today. You must be getting tired.
Sorry, I am very tired. Molokov, how did you inhale those spores? What sort of an effect did they have on?
Well, back in college, also involved martial arts. And you remember, you were next to me, and you looked at me, and you were like 5 different people right now, and you keep switching. See, that little bit of that happened. I was coughing a lot. It wasn't a lot of fun. Um, I couldn't quite. It was the same thing. I couldn't like feel my fingers. Yeah, it's like a very intense version of that.
Interesting.
The dwarves had this stuff they used to drink occasionally. They called it what was it? Ayahuasca? Made you real sick, but you tripped balls for like 6 hours.
I've read articles of this. I heard
Maybe I don't
children
use all of the
Right.
file.
he talks about.
Well, it's worth a shot, isn't it?
Just
I'll pull out, I guess, a few bolts and see how far it goes along, coating the tips of them with this pacifying spore
Sure.
liquid.
I'm going to say you can coat. You want to use all of it?
I think if I get to 3, I'll stop.
Okay.
But I will keep using it until I have a couple of, like, at least 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, I'll say you can do 3. But the DC will drop to 12.
Understood. Cool.
Just because it's a smaller concentration of it. Yeah, DC will drop to 12.
I like it.
But you got 3 of these bolts.
I'll offer 2 to Puck. And
Nice.
keep 1 for myself.
2 stun bolts.
Yeah. I will definitely take those, and I'll definitely be planning to try and use them in the next encounter, at least on the first go.
Sure.
All right, I'll take you guys back the way that we came.
Nice. So pushing further into the night, you move up back towards the patrol, crossing the river at that point, and eventually coming into the cave system where Puck describes that up ahead is where the infiltrators will be patrolling and where the bodies are. So I will move you there now.
I will preemptively load my pacifying bolt.
Same.
And I think I just need to move Molokov here as well. Okay, so you can maneuver yourselves around, but this guy is patrolling around this area.
Suppose we would have talked about this beforehand, but like, how do you want to do this? You want to sneak in first? And see if you, like, ahead of us and see if you can get the first one and we'll come in behind? Or
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the plan. Yeah, so there we go. Because if it turns into a fight, I don't want you far behind me. But also, if I can just take this guy out and sneak up as best I can. Yeah, so Puck's going to want to go that way.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we make it as safe as possible? We have 2 that make the move at the same time on the first person. And then as soon as that drops, the other 2 can make the move in. And then and he can also make his way to the one that's further away. Cover as much space as possible, as fast as possible. Oh, it's dusty in here, no? Just me?
Who speaks
kind of gotten
Draconian?
used to it.
What?
Does anyone speak Draconian?
you know who might.
I think the only person who does speak Draconian is Vargier.
Ah, that's all right.
But he is
You
here.
get the sense, Molokov. Give me an insight check.
Maybe 10 minutes I could speak Draconian.
So you can hear them talking. You can hear that they're talking. It kind of echoes a little bit through the cave.
15.
15. You're gonna have to remind me of his name again.
Kaida.
Kaida. I have to write that down. Kaida.
Little translator. Oh.
Not quite a translator. That would be a bit much. But you get the sense.
Me in common.
Yeah. You get the sense from him, the feeling of alertness from these ones. Seems like they are alert now, rather than on patrol that they were before. But he still continues his normal thing. It's the other two that are talking that you get the alert sense from.
Right, so it doesn't sound like we can hear them talking just general chit chat, bicker and bantering sort of thing. It's ordered talking almost.
Yeah, it sounds like they're aware something's up.
Yeah.
Statements of purpose, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we know what's around that corner? Like Puck's seen all of that before?
I have
Yes.
seen. I walked up and around it while I was invisible.
So this is what he's described to you.
Yeah, the fog.
I think the only thing I didn't do was go like right the way back to the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right.
Oh shit, it was already that close.
Hero's just wandering up.
I think I'll sort of, I guess, stand next to Hera, I think, and I guess wait for the other two to loop up around the other side.
Yep, so you're pretty much safe up to here. But Puck, I'm going to need a stealth check on that approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. I'm going to stick with him as well.
Sure, so if everyone wants to get into position, and then Puck starts making his move.
Yeah.
That's a 24 stealth.
24 stealth. I'm pretty sure I can't beat that. Oh, plus 3. Yeah, so. Nope. He is blissfully unaware of you, but definitely on edge. You see his hand is by his dagger, and he's looking around. This one seems to have been given an instruction, whereas Molokov, you would have passed on to the group that the voices talking up here are very much like alert.
Yep. How close? Am I as close as I want to be, or something? Like that's 20 feet.
Yeah. What are you planning on doing? Are you planning on just doing a straight run and attack, or are you gonna shoot, or what's the vibe here?
I'm going to get to there with Molotov. Presumably, I assume Ghost is going to go up, sort of following behind Puck. I'm going to wait like a second or two, knowing Puck's sneaking up, and then I'm going to message Puck and say, when you strike, reply to this message, and I'll strike. So I'm essentially waiting for Puck's command. I'm going to then step out and cast a spell.
Okay.
Knowing he has vision and better stealth is going to get a lot closer. I'm not even looking that direction. I'm essentially back to the wall, going to cast the message and just wait for the response.
I like it. Ghost, where you are now is fine. Any closer, you're going to need to do a stealth check, so up to you. Everyone's on hold at the moment.
Yeah, I know that I'm not as stealthy as Puck is, so I will be at that point where I can look out and around the corner and see what he's up to, but not following in directly behind him. I'm going to let him do his thing for this first bit.
Sure. Puck, over to you.
I think I'm just going to try and... I want to get as close as I can and then just try and shoot him in the neck kind of thing.
Sure.
Or, you know, somewhere that he's got knockout armor on.
Yep. Are
To
you
get the
using?
spores into him.
Yeah, you're using the the stun bolt. Okay.
Yep.
So, roll to hit first. With advantage because I believe you're hidden.
You're not gonna believe me, but it's another 20.
Dirty or natural?
Natural 20 for a total of 29 with that crossbow.
Okay. He might not be stunned if he's dead. But do you want to give me the damage roll first?
I think he would put sneak
Come
attack
on.
into it as well.
Can
Come
do
on.
50
That's
points
already
on
40.
this.
You may as well drop him. Like,
Oh, sorry, that's already 30. So let me just roll and see what I get. 30.
Come on, break the half century.
No, 42.
42. So like, I've seen this in many a games. You just, the arrow doesn't even make any noise, and he just silently drops to the ground.
Yep. I'm gonna look back at Ghost, and then like signal like, come on, and I want to try and move up to where this guy was and peek around the corner to see if this dude especially has noticed.
Sure. I'm gonna do a perception check for him.
Yep.
It's low. I'm gonna say he's facing this way. He's facing the other way.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I'll roll stealth to creep up to Puck's previous position.
I'm gonna say now up to here is not needed for stealth.
Okay.
Oh,
I
cool.
want
Well,
to. Oh, sorry.
Sweet.
I have
You
an
good?
idea.
Yeah.
And I look at Ghost and I say, Ghost, help me hold him up for a second. And
Oh,
I
no.
want to hold him up and then use, like, if he's got like a chest strap, I want to use the immovable rod, click it in place, so that he looks, at least at a glance, like he's standing there.
I think that's the best use of an immovable rod I've ever heard of today.
You prop
We just
like,
weakened Bernie's fucking Draconian.
so like even you put it like as like a coat hanger behind his thing, and he's just
Yeah.
hanging there, not even swiveling because it's an immovable rod. You can take a point of inspiration for that. Brilliant.
That's quality.
And then you kind of like move back to the rock, and this guy turns around and kind of looks down, gives a nod, turns back. Like him Boris with his bung shoulders again.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So did
the
Hero
floor
message
is
us?
still no. You were meant to reply when you hit this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hero's
No,
still.
when you went to make the strike so that we could strike at the same time. But obviously you went and
Yeah.
it dead silent. I haven't heard a thing. And Moloko was just sitting there waiting. But,
Yeah.
Any
I think
seconds now.
Puck will move down here and just go, come around. Let's go. It's safe.
Fuck. Oh my god.
I probably forget to mention that it's dead, but he's like, it's safe.
Okay, sure.
Was waiting for a whisper in one ear, gets a whisper in the other.
Yeah, you see this draconian that is propped up right with an immovable rod.
Probably get like sort of right up to it. See just like the hole and blood coming out of its neck, like, huh. Okay.
So I will mention as well. Sorry, I'm just doing a bit of reading on the stat block. When you did kill it, you noticed that some green blood kind of came out and sizzled a little bit on the ground.
Okay.
Okay. Just for reference, for when you killed it, it kind of let out a bit of sizzle blood.
Okay.
Sizzle. Classic
I will
sizzle blood.
say, try and get the next one.
When you
Yeah.
when you try and don't say acid damage, and
It's like the opposite of a base in alkalinity.
yeah.
And it hurts. It's like, oh gosh. Yeah.
Was it low pH or high pH?
Shall I try and stun the next one?
Following you.
No
May
one's
as
going to
well.
argue with that.
Okay. I'm going to load the next bolt, my second and last of these stun bolts.
Sure, sure.
And I want to try and, like, yeah, peek around the corner and see, just like try and time it when this guy's not looking. I know the other guys are there, but I'm focused on the other guy at the moment.
Sure. You can kind of get a vibe on him. He kind of like walks back towards, then turns around. It's that classic backwards and forwards video game path. But yeah, so, and again, you're going to get advantage on this one. So up to you whether you want to use the stun bolt or not.
I think I do, because I think the reality is I got very lucky that I rolled a 20 even with advantage.
Sure.
So I think I'm going to come around and I'm going to try and move. What would that be? 5. Try and get like my 30 feet of movement to kind of get away from as much out of these guys' sight as I possibly can.
Sure.
While he's not looking.
I think I'll ask for a stealth check then if you're going to be running
totally
over there.
get it. Yep. No, I expected one.
Don't use up your natural 20.
That's all right. That's a 21.
That's beatable. I'll get a +3 to perception.
It is beatable. I rolled a 10.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're freaking kidding me. Dirty 20. As you kind of like do a little jog up and one of the pebbles under your foot just like... And you see him like just stop and then carry on. But yeah, go for the shot.
All right. Yeah, I'll take that shot with the stun bolt. Yeah, there's no natural 20 there, but the best of those makes it a 22 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
And it'll be sneak attack again. No, will it be sneak attack?
Yes,
because I had advantage.
Yep,
I had advantage, yeah. So
yeah,
that's
different
already,
combat.
That's already 30.
No, it's not a crit.
It's not a crit.
Oh, no, it's not a crit. Yeah, no. So, no, you're right.
Yeah.
No, my bad. That is on the dice. That is 14 on the dice plus 6, so 20.
All right, this one doesn't kill it. But it goes to the back of the neck, and I believe it's a DC 12 Constitution save.
Constitution save.
Okay, there's a +2 to cons, so a natural 1 won't do it. As it goes to the back of the neck, and you see him like reach up and touch it before kind of like knees weak, goes down and just gets stunned.
I'll if I can keep moving,
Yeah.
I'll just step further around so I can't be seen by them.
Sure. The rest of you see this happen.
I'll look at Hera and like point at my ear.
I was just thinking along the same sort of lines. Seeing him drop and be stunned, I'll look up and, I suppose, finish the job.
I can't get the next 2 on my own, but if I go the way around and use the horn, then we can all attack at the same time.
Okay, sounds good. We'll wait for your signal.
Yep. Does anyone else want to do anything?
I was looking at Puck. I saw the communication happen. I'm just waiting.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know if Hera tells everyone what we just said.
Yeah, sorry, I will sort of turn and, well, like, they can see that he's been, obviously, got that dude is stunned. I'll just turn back. He's gone to go all the way around. We wait till we hear the horn, then we strike.
Oh.
Alright, I will.
Plus, you can't ask me a question and then ignore me.
You know what would be so amazing if you had like 10 different cameras and he just keeps changing perspective every time. We just do like a full 360. Okay. All right. Puck is going to move up. He's going to slit this guy's throat.
Nice. You just reach down and just get him.
Puck's gonna move up. He's just gonna split the guy's throat and he's gonna carry on.
Look.
That was actually what Hera meant when she said finish the job for that dude.
Yeah.
She meant take that one out. And then,
she didn't mean the other guys. She didn't.
Then,
I didn't
even think about that.
Yeah, I guess Reese, my plan is to move from there kind of
Yeah.
around.
So you can pretty much get up to
kind
here.
of here. Yep. I'll probably be a little cautious. Again, I can't remember. Is that a real entryway or is that just sort of?
Yeah, nothing that can go.
Yeah, cool.
Anywhere.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, so I'll just move my way around to there, and then just sort of catch my breath.
If I look to my left,
wipe some sweat off, and then get ready.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
if I look to my left while people are doing things, I heard Puck talk about these pouches of sleeping powder. Do I see a pouch on good old fucking Bernie's waist?
You do.
Right, I will grab that. Instead of holding onto my rope of entanglement, I will just hold on to that.
Sure. As you grab it, you do give a bit of a yawn, but
Oh.
you now have a pouch of some sort of dust on you.
Cool.
Love a pouch of some sort of dust.
It's got a little baggie.
Yeah.
Bit of mystery snow.
Bit of mystery stuff.
I just found it in the toilet. Do you reckon it's safe? All right.
Looks just the right color.
Yeah. The dude who gave it to me was legit as. It's fine.
So I'm gonna say, let's stay behind this line.
Oh
yeah, I just
yeah, I was gonna say.
I've popped myself out because I'm about to do something, Reese. That's why I've stuck my head out a little bit.
Yep, that's cool. Okay, cool.
Yep. All right. Puck is going to take the horn of silent alarm and he's going to blast it out to Hera and then he's going to take 2 shots.
All right. Let's roll initiative and get a surprise round in.
Oh.
Right, look at that. The second best roll. Good.
It's your turn.
I will still probably be.
No, I'm very low this time, actually.
What, 16?
Yeah.
No. Single digits.
All right, what did you get?
Oh, shit.
I got an 8.
Fuck.
Ghost?
I got 4.
Hera?
I also got an 8.
Yep.
Guys, it's not fun if we finish the whole thing.
And Molotov?
Yeah, I got a dirty 20, which is fantastic.
Here's like, go.
Welcome to Bolton.
Okay, so what I reckon we'll do then is we'll start with Puck and go around to Molokov, and then it will be their turn. So Jed and I were discussing this the other day. Same initiative. You guys can take, I'm going to try it for a bit. You guys can take your turns at the same time. You can move, you can move, attack, move, bonus action. You can interchange, or you can just do a full Puck turn, full Hero turn. Up to you guys. I just think as we get on, that could be a cool chance to do some combo stuff.
Skate rules. Fuck yeah.
I think almost in that sense, hearing the alarm, I probably won't think to say anything. We'll just take my movement. Probably at the same time, Puck rounds that, and I'm just going to chill touch this one here.
Sure. And Puck, you're leading off some shots as well.
Yeah, yep.
To which one?
I'll probably do the one that's closest to me.
Yep, sure. So let's go for attack rolls.
I will also hit the same one that is closest to us.
Your initiative
With
is
the
next.
last of the pacifying bolts. Oh yeah, that's right. Same initiative, understood.
Yeah.
15 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
And 27 to hit for my first shot.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
And it's going to be 8 necrotic damage.
Yep.
That is 20 points of piercing.
Yep.
I'm going to use Whales from the Grave to, now that I've got my sneak attack damage, the guy next to him is going to take 2d6 necrotic. That's 7 points of necrotic.
Yep.
And the first guy's still up.
They're both still up.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to shoot the one I already shot again
Sure.
with my bonus action.
Yep. Any bonus actions
Because
now?
Whales from the Grave is a weird thing where it isn't actually any kind of action. It's just when you do sneak attack damage.
Yeah, that's cool.
To hit, that's... Sorry, Dale.
No, I was saying no bonus action.
That's 17 to hit
That'll hit.
and 10 points of piercing.
On the first guy?
On the first guy who already did 22.
Yep. Nice. You see bolts and chill touch, and as that chill touch hits, like some spirits wail out from these bodies as well, and it's a whole bunch of confusion as they start looking around, and one of them puts their hand up to their ear, but they do not do anything. Ghost, you're up.
Well, that's fun. I am unmuted. Wonderful. Yep. Let's just poke a nose around here, right behind here, and fire at this bad boy here.
Nice, go for it.
That bolt. It's just a regular roll, isn't it?
Yes.
18 to hit.
Sorry, you're using a stun bolt?
It is a stun bolt.
Sure. So this is the last stun bolt that is being used.
It is indeed. Sorry, 19 to hit.
That will hit. So you roll for damage, I'll roll for con. That is an 8.
That's a failure, and that's 11 points of piercing damage.
Nice. Still seems to be alive, but
Rolled max damage.
is stunned. Which brings us to
I
Molotov.
guess,
Sorry, go on.
Bonus action, yeah. Just summon MB forward. I don't think she can quite get... Yeah, not quite there. But it's running on in.
Nice, yeah. Quickly approaches.
She'll
and...
hold an action to attack.
Gotcha. This guy is stunned, and that is Ghost's turn over, so Molotov, you're up.
Right. Suppose I will run on in. I think that was... It's hard to tell on my phone. I think that was about 30 feet.
Sure.
And is it the one still standing that was doing something with his ear?
Yes.
I suppose I'm going to try and throw my shield at his face twice then.
All right. You throw that shield.
This one, which will be a... Fuck, I don't know anything anymore. Shield. Somewhere. 8, so a 16 to hit.
16 will hit. Go for damage.
Lovely. The 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Nice. As it reaches up to its ear, it looks up and the shield just conks him straight in the face, and he falls down dead.
Oh, wonderful. Then I suppose, as it returns and I catch it, I will just launch it again at the one on the ground.
Yep.
And see if we can get him. That's long gone. I think that went under the desk. That is an 18 to hit.
That'll hit. Go for damage.
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Nice. Still stunned, but the shield...
Only 6.
Only 6. His shield bounces off him and you see it does a bit of damage. But that brings us to its turn, and it's going to try and get itself out of the stun. With an 18. So it does. It kind of shakes it off a little bit as the shield bounces into him. Kind of looks around in a panic. Oh, there's not really many directions to go, is there? Tell you what, he's going to scramble over onto the body of this one, and you see him just reach to its face and pull out an elongated slug as it snaps out of its ear, and you hear it say something in Draconian. Fuck, your turn.
Cool.
I shoot it. I'm gonna steady aim. I'm gonna steady aim and shoot it. That's a what would that be? 25 to hit.
It's easily, and
Yeah.
you can go for a damage roll, I guess.
That's 18 points of piercing.
As it's yelling at this thing. You're not even sure if that's how it works, but it's yelling at this thing, and the bolt just through the head, and it drops down. The worm kind of squirms on the ground, and we're out of initiative. As you expertly Hitman leveled this, these guys.
That was fun.
And we're out
We
of
should Puck carry the rest of the campaign. We just,
until he gets
we
hit.
just go off whatever we want.
That's definitely like playing exactly into his strengths. There's a lot of combats that I'm like, I can't do much.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
Assassin's Creed shit.
Yeah, that was great fun. I'll call Ghost over because I probably saw the shouting at the thing. Ghost, you might want to have a look at this. Looks a bit familiar. I'll search these bodies while he does that.
So Ghost, you coming over?
Oh, absolutely.
You see this thing squirming on the ground, and it has an uncanny resemblance to one that you have on your person, I believe.
Mm. Oh, it's currently in the bag of holding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so ooh, gross. I guess I'll pick this one up too.
Sure, with your hands?
I will stash my pouch of Yawny powder first off. How did I do this last time? No, I won't be touching it with my hands. I'm pretty sure I didn't touch the last one.
You didn't.
You know what? I don't think I'm thinking. I don't know. How smart am I? You've asked the question now. No, you know what? I prepared a vial, and I leant down to pick it up and drop it into the vial.
So you are touching it with your hands?
I think I will touch it with my hand.
Yeah. Not a lot of things have this condition of how do you pick it up, but this one definitely does. Can you give me a wisdom save?
The 19.
19. You pick this thing up, and as you go to move it over to the vial, it kind of is squirming in your hand, like, you're holding onto this tail of the thing, and then it kind of just goes still and looks up at you. Its little toothy mouth makes eye contact with you, even though it doesn't have any eyes. And you almost seem to keep looking at it for a decent minute. To everyone else, it's a split second. and you get a flash in your mind. You see a big cavern. It seems bigger than any room you've ever been in. And you see in the middle of it floating rocks. Atop the central floating rock is an archway. And in front of the archway you see a lizard-like creature. One you've only read in descriptions of books, with long scales and frills. Kind of takes on a bluish, greenish, lunar glow. And standing in front of it is a humanoid figure. Resembles some sort of elvish features, but has taken on a sort of scaly look as well. And behind them, the arch glows a purplish color. Before this elvish figure, you seem to resemble as Captain LaFon's looks at your eyes, and then it cuts out, and you throw the the earworm into a vial and close it, and it does not take hold.
Drops it, stops for a second, grabs the lid, seals it, puts it away. Fuck. I think we're in trouble.
Taking notes.
Huh?
Everyone's furiously taking notes. What just happened?
Remember how we thought that these things might communicate with something somewhere else?
Hmm.
And I will describe the flesh I just saw. LaFon's looking like a half lizard creature standing in front of the archway with what I think was the moon, and he looked straight at me.
Shit. Does that mean that he might try to move ahead with his plans sooner than we had anticipated?
It could be. But he's still days out. He needs the moon. I think we still have time, but I think he'll know that something's up.
I think sort of as soon as we start realizing A, who our villain is right here, and B, that they might be aware of us, Molokov's going to turn his attention to the prisoners. Are they tied up? Are they all just sleeping?
Yeah, so at a glance you look down and they are bound, hands and feet, but they are all got that shallow breath. It seems like they're all alive. They're just in a slumber.
I would like to try and sort of just untie the closest one to me and just gently, with my non-metal hand, give him a little slap and see if I can wake
Tink,
them up.
Sure, untying the bounds is not tricky. They are not resisting. They're tightly bound, but you see where the knot is and you untie it and you gesture this one up, or say it's the first one up here. And the body is limp, but you kind of give a little tap. No response. Give a bit of a harder tap. No response. I'll leave that in your hands. You know, you're doing quite a, you know, Yeah, yeah. You're not quite ragdolling yet, but it seems like they are deep asleep.
Yeah, out. Right, well, I can't do anything about that. I don't think.
Some sort of an arcane needs. I remember Puck saying that they had some sort of powder on them. Maybe the best thing we can do is just let them rest until they wake. They're
They definitely
safe
seem
now,
to be
so-
reapplying the powder, so I think it will wear off. It just might take some time.
Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning,
Yes.
Molokov, is that when Puck saw it, one was stirring and they kind of reapplied it, but it wasn't every minute or anything like that. Like, he stayed and watched for a good 5 minutes. It just seemed that that one happened to wear off when Puck was watching. Like, they could have applied this 1 minute before you arrived, yeah.
I know, understood.
All I know
Seeing
is,
if I can
is
phase arouse them. Do we untie them then and I guess leave a note?
I think so. I think that's probably the best we can do. Do we know if these guys work like for the Moon Mother sort of thing?
The Dragonborn.
Yeah.
I think
Go on.
they're just the people from the village that's near the mountain.
Right.
That would be the best guess.
So I think they're in cahoots with the Moon Mother in the same sense that the city is like they worship her sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they necessarily.
They don't look like they have like clerical stuff on them or anything like that. It doesn't look like they are here to tend to her. They do look like farmers and villagers. If that makes sense.
The Moon Mother was her protector. She looks after the lands and keeps. No. No, I can't remember the name of this place because I was looking at my other book. What's the name of
Kubara.
this state? Kubara, that's right. Keeps
Yeah.
Kubara a sanctuary.
So yeah, towards the end of the last war, it seems like the Moon Mother took up residence. You know, some say she came from the stars, XYZ. And then since then, it has been her prophecy is the wrong word, but like her decree that the Dragonborn can be more self-sufficient if they cut themselves off from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And since doing that, they have succeeded. But after a couple of minutes, they still don't wake Molokov.
If Lafons seems to know that we are here, the sovereign said he can keep us in sanctuary, at least to get some rest. I know it's closer to where Lafons might be, but perhaps that's our best bet for having a safe space to, get our wits about ourselves before we try and face Lafons.
Well, won't catch him by surprise anymore, but we still have the advantage. I mean, look at
Yes,
us. Just wandered our way through a mystery cavern, set free all of his prisoners, stopped his poisoning efforts. I don't think we could have hoped to do any better.
We said we were here to disrupt. I think we've successfully done that.
As you say that, you do give me perception checks, everyone.
Yeah.
24.
24, easy. So you hear just that slight little reverb, almost reminiscent of when they're in the mines of Moria. You hear movement in far reaches of the cavern. Nothing directly, but it seems like either guards or something have been made aware. Movement is happening. Preparation is happening.
So it's just sounds like multiple something rather than say a Balrog.
It's not a Balrog, which is the second episode in a row that joke has been made. So,
yeah. since we're on that descriptor,
yeah,
an analogy.
No, it doesn't sound like it's like, oh, they're coming for us. It sounds like, no, someone's been made aware.
Yeah, damn it.
I think we at least need to move back to the Myconids. I don't know how spent you all are. Is the thing. I'm fine. I don't need a rest, but I don't want to go in there and us not to be prepared. But do we have the time to be prepared?
I mean, we're thinking
No,
as like,
whatever he's mainly trying to do, he can't do until the full moon. So we do have that on our side.
we do, but
We're going to be in for one fuck of a fight.
well,
Sorry, everyone. I can't help but feel like that was my fault.
oh, no, you're fine. Yeah. You stumble into everything we do.
Not wrong there.
This is my thinking though. We either charge into where we know he is. Half-cocked. Harry, you're looking pretty spent there. I know I am. Or, at the very least, we set up somewhere defensible and try to rest. And either we have the advantage of home turf, or we have the advantage of a full rest. This is my thoughts, feelings.
Yeah, I think it's the decision of those who are spent to make.
Mechanically, I'm going to be only moderately better. I'm more worried about our wizard.
Yeah. Mechanically,
I'm also out of spell slots.
Yeah.
And most of my abilities.
I don't reckon you guys need them, to be honest.
Does a short rest
Yeah, like,
just for a small break?
no,
Does that
sure, might do it.
won't help?
No, because we already took a short rest, so I've used my arcane recovery as well to get a spell slot back last time. Before
I don't
we
get
went
I can sit out on a short rest. And I'm already on full.
Gives him time to prepare his defenses, but it gives us time to prepare our offenses. We might still have an ace in the hole with this antidote.
to
Has anyone? Has anyone looked at the antidote? Do we know? Do we?
No, you have not.
Should... All right, I suppose that's a rest thing.
Well, the problem is that we don't have it. That's probably why we haven't looked at it.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah.
It's mechanically been here this whole time. We were also told explicitly not to pull it out until we needed it. But that is always, we've already talked about this before we came here, was that's suspicious. But then do we risk
that is, yeah.
breaking it or deteriorizing it or whatever it is by pulling it out? We don't know that yet. But that was the end of that discussion before we got into this bullshit.
Well, the only thing I can really see that being bad for us is, it's going to be pretty bad. Like, is that it's a bomb of some description, and that's the antidote. But either way, we don't really want to pull that out. You're right. I've forgotten about that little detail.
I believe that conversation has been had, and it's in the bag of holding at the moment.
Yeah.
Because the bag of holding was given as
bag of holding.
Yeah, it was given as the bag of holding, being like, don't take this out until you need it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, no, never mind. Scratch that.
Let's leave these lot of notes, shall we? I'll go into my notebook and pull out a blank page from the back and sort of draw out an instruction of how to get to the river, the closest river.
Yep.
And to follow it to get outside. And I'll drag the fuck, Molokov, give me a hand. Drag these two bodies of the two that were here, right to sort of this point on the rock, and use a bolt to just wedge my note into the rock above them.
So it's very clear that they are not resting; they're dead.
Yep, they're two corpses stacked on each other, and at sort of eye height for a dragonborn is this note.
Yep.
Left in the rock.
I like it.
And yeah, I suppose we'll just go around and untie the lot of them.
You mean you don't want to leave the immovable rod here?
That might come in handy later.
It might do. Sure, you take the body down. You clear the corpses.
And you know what? For shits and giggles, I will take the same pouches if they have them off these other two as well.
Sure.
And drop those into the bag of holding.
Yep. So that's 3 pouches of, let's call it, sleep powder.
Yeah, it's all I've got written down for now. I got no idea what it does.
Yeah, this one you might have to identify a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tied it up.
Somewhere safe.
What's the plan?
The rest where they. Sorry, Dale.
I just said the same thing. Suppose we head back that direction at least for now.
Not a problem.
I'll like walk back there. I'll probably try and get close to Puck. I'm just gonna. Puck, what exactly was it you said was down in that other room that we didn't go and look at?
A lot of gold, and
No.
like
The other thing that was.
the other thing in the same room.
Yes, you said something else.
It was like
It's
the
next-
head of a giant with one giant eye and a bunch of stalks sticking off it, but it seemed to be dead.
You're pretty confident it was dead, Puck. That wasn't meant to install like guessing or anything. Like it was like ripped apart kind of thing. Yeah.
Puck is very sure this thing is
That's
dead.
good. I'm interested in the dead thing as well.
I know.
Perhaps if we are going to be resting, maybe we could go and have a look. I just want to see if there's anything beneficial of that thing, you know?
I
don't want to touch the gold. I know that places like this that can be
Quite
quite
bloody that something has done this to it. That something might be. You didn't see anything else living in that room, right?
Puck.
sorry, say it again.
Nope.
There was nothing else that was living in that room, right? There wasn't like
Not that I
guards
saw.
or-
It feels like a trap. I think
We'd kind of had
maybe-
the discussion last session of like, oh, what bigger thing than that killed that?
Yeah.
Could have been the Eton. Maybe it wasn't. Let's not touch that with a 10-foot pole while we're fucking focusing on other things. But this is an interesting conversation. I'll leave you to it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we wait until everything is sorted. I just thought, you know, things can happen quite quickly. we have our rest, and then when we go to the Moon Mother, then we might have to get out of here very fast. So I wondered what your opinion was on it. Perhaps a little quieter, but I'm not being very quiet. So
My opinion on it is I think that if we want to come have a look at it, we come have a look at it after we've dealt with the threats here.
okay. That's all. That's all.
Okay.
Push the button. We won't say that.
Well, you're heading back in that direction, to the
Yeah.
Myconid Cave or whatever. You let me know when you get to the Myconid Cave.
Yeah, we get to the market. Okay.
Okay.
That's where we're heading. As a collective, that's where the group wants to go.
You reapproach the Sovereign, or at least the area he's in, and a lot more of the Myconid sprouts have joined this room. They're all kind of moving around and raving. But you do get the sense that quite a lot of energy is coming from further down into that cave. Seems like it just everything seems a bit more on edge in here. But if you'd like to settle down for a long rest, how are you going about doing that?
That feeling of pain that I was feeling, did that seem to be connected in any way directly to what the Sovereign was feeling?
Yes.
Like, yeah, okay, cool. I just wanted to see if that was like the cabin in general.
Yeah.
In pain.
It's
Like,
still
There was also a bit of that.
Right. Yeah. Because Mike is. Yeah. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. But you do get that it is shared with the cave, with whatever has taken up residence in here. It's kind of they're almost buffing each other's telepathic thoughts, which in this case is not great because it's not good feelings.
Understood. Roger.
So how would you like to settle down for a rest?
I'm happy to take first watch because I don't need too much of a rest.
Hey, Molokov.
Of course. I love it when you ask that like that.
Sorry, you just went super quiet. I didn't hear a minute of that.
There wasn't a minute of it. Just appreciating the question. I assume when Ghost asks something, it's going to be interesting.
More an observation. I think you're right about this whole antidote. We did get told not to pull it out until we needed it, but we're going to need it. Just think if we take the last watch, it'd be wise to take a look at what our Warforged friends actually gave us.
It's probably worth noting that, yes, it was the two Warforged that gave you this device. So that means they brought it with them on the ship.
I agree that there's something fishy and something that I do not trust. This whole do not remove it thing, but I think we have to trust that God, why are Warforged so hard to read?
Oh, hold on, let me just rewrite
Okay.
half of the campaign.
Yeah, could you? Jesus.
That's all I need to hear. Yeah, I've been getting better at this whole trust thing. I'll tell you what. I'll make my own precautions anyway, just in case when the moment comes. Can at least just get a little bit of confirmation that our trust was put in the right place.
Sounds good.
Oh, follow-up question. You wouldn't mind donating me your beads of force, would you?
I was going
give
to
you
say,
mine.
you seem to be really liking these, so you can
I
definitely
haven't
hold on
managed to
mine.
do what I was trying to do with the last ones. We kind of put them to good use.
I think you could. Yes. I will happily hand over my third.
I'll give you one of mine.
In that case, I'll give one back to Molokov.
Yeah, cool.
Happy to take first watch with you, Puck.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. As you kind of makeshift a camp, you see that the Sovereign turns and recognizes that you're resting here. And a lot of the sprouts start moving towards you. And as they do, one sprout climbs up on another two to create a little triangle, and then another one climbs up, and they start creating a almost wall of myconids, leaving a entrance and exit that you can come in and out of. But as they do, they kind of take on a brownish rock color and start to solidify themselves as they encapsulate around all of you. First two.
Is this a Lehman's tiny shroom hut?
A shroom hut, yeah, it's a Liamon's shroom hut.
Give me that spell.
Ghost and Puck, can you describe your watch and give me perception checks, please, as the rest of you fall asleep?
Love you.
Yeah, Puck probably is just keeping an eye and an ear out, really. He probably leans down, looks over the ledge a few times. Definitely kind of staring down that sort of southern exit to the room. And just, yeah, really focusing on listening. Yeah, I think that's like, I don't think I'm going anywhere. Like, probably
Okay.
I might cross and like walk past it kind of thing to go down here and look down there and see if I can hear anything, but I'm not going down there.
Sure.
Just like walking around the area kind of thing.
Sure. Give me that perception check.
That's a 16.
16. Yeah, you take a look around. There's not much noise, except very distant echoes of the cave. You can almost tell that there's movement in the mountain at the moment. And with a 16, the closer you get to the southern end of the cave, you see that it gets a bit more luminescent. The moon rock seems to become a bit more prominent, but it is a deep dive of a tunnel. Seems like there's going to be at least a bit of a distance. It's not the next cavern over. It's going to be a bit of a distance to get to it.
Okay.
Ghost.
Knowing that Puck is always doing rounds, and I know that there's something I want to work on, I'll position myself in a sort of, I guess, the western side of the cave, back up to a wall, pistol with one remaining round loaded into it at my side, and I'll just be using my ears for my perception, really, while I'm half concentrating on finishing the project I'd started during our last short rest, which is turning my pistol ammunition into a loaded bead of force. And I'll attempt to do that with the 2 beads I have.
Okay. Give me a. You're going to give up your perception check, and we're going to give
All right.
a intelligence check to try and make this DC of 20.
I guide myself on this one.
You sure can.
DC of 20. Ooh, do I get my proficiency?
Yes.
All right. That's doable. Oh, is it doable? 9 plus intelligence plus 7 plus guidance. So I can do it. I've got to roll a 4 on the go,
Yep.
and that's a 3.
You're pretty sure you know how to get this done, but you just can't quite figure it out in the time you've got tonight. But it does not use up any of the beads of force.
Very good.
But with that, your watch comes to an end. Unless there's any interactions you want to do with Ghost and Poke.
Suppose in the sort of 5 minutes before we look at waking other people up. So, battle plans, strategies. It's kind of all out the window now, isn't it?
It is a little bit. I don't know. He's going to expect us. I don't know if he knows. Like, he saw you, but did he see the same as you saw, of where you were, who was with you, what was happening? Does he know which way we're going to try and come in? It's... who knows? I think he's likely to have some people with him, some others to defend him, I suppose. But I feel like taking him out must be the priority. And defending the Moon Mother, making sure he doesn't accomplish whatever it is he's set out to. I think all of us can pack a punch. It's just, hopefully we can direct that where it needs to be.
What do you think about the Moon Mother? How fast will this antidote work? If we can get to her quickly and apply it, then...
Maybe. Maybe, yes. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's likely to be instant. I mean, it's probably going to take at least a little while, at least a couple of minutes. Maybe? I don't know. It depends. We haven't seen it. Is it magical or is it mundane? If it's mundane, I can see it taking days. But I don't know. I think that we can hope for her help, but we expect that we have to do it ourselves. I'm quite concerned now that he knows we're coming. I don't know what he's going to do. But I know that we need to take him out.
Perhaps. You've always been our lookout, our eyes. You see things before the rest of us do. Perhaps I'll pull out the gems through seeing. Perhaps you want to hold on to this for the morning.
What does it do?
True sight.
It gives you true sight up to 120 feet for 10 minutes.
Ooh.
There's 3 charges. It would perhaps, you know of this effect.
Yeah,
Ghost is saying, like, you always see things first. Perhaps you'll be able to see more.
Oh, that's quite an offer.
I mean, I'm happy to use it myself. To be the eyes.
Will you be all right without it?
Well, the way I see it, I've got 2 roles in this. what we're about to do. And that's either or both. Use this, keep an eye for things that are hidden, and whatever benefits that may give us, but the main part is to make sure the rest of you don't die.
Has Ghost ever done Fairy Fire? Is that right? Is it Ghost who does that?
Yes, I believe so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen you do it. I think Buck will say, I think if something turns invisible or something like that, I have no way of making that thing visible to everyone else. I think that I've seen you use that spell before to light up things around you. I think it might be better for you to have it.
It's a fair call. That leaves you free to do what you do best.
Well,
Just fucking
between
kick some ass.
between the boots you've given me and this grapnel gun, I think I can move around pretty quick. I can get around behind and yes, hopefully find some weak spots to inflict some damage.
All right. All best prep for the others to, well, cause as much chaos and distraction from their end as possible.
I think so. So get some sleep.
Yeah. Toss you like half a dry piece of jerky that I was chewing on.
Thanks. Sprinkle some spices on it from my spice pouch.
Nice. You wrap up your plans of what is to come down in the heart of the mountain and move to awaken your other two companions for their watch. But before you do, can I have a wisdom save from Hera, please?
Oh, goddamn.
Dare you. Oh, that was much good. Wisdom save. What's that? That's a 9.
The 9. You toss and you turn, and the little comforts you have on this rock floor in a cave away from the sun in the dark. But you eventually drift off to sleep. And you find yourself in an office, in a study. And it is a mess in here. There are scrolls on the ground. There are plates shattered next to a table where they would have laid. It's almost like someone has ransacked through here. And that's when the wind blows in and some of the window shutters clatter. And you see the door to the office is open as well, as it kind of creaks open, then bang, slams shut, but it bounces off like it doesn't have a door latch.
I sort of probably take a second, think about things and what could be hidden, and then the only thing I think of is the thing that I last put here.
You think of that, and the wardrobe doors kind of clatter shut, and you notice that, you know, the tall standing mirror is face down on the ground. There's clothes thrown in the corner. There's more you take to look in, the more you notice that there's a bit of just chaos to this room.
I'm going to go over to the desk and pull, well, like I assume the drawers are already sort of half pulled out sort of thing, and just sort of slowly slide it. Give like a push on the bottom on the fake little thing and sort of peer underneath it and just see if the encoded thought is still just sort of sitting there.
You see the yellow string almost moving, but it isn't. Just sitting in the bottom of the drawer there. Encoded thought staying exactly where you put it. a gust of wind blows through again, and you see it almost react to it, but it doesn't exit the drawer.
I'm going to pick up the thought, pull it out, and almost just look at it for a second and have a thought of surely. And I'm going to put the thought back into my head. Is it the same thought?
As it goes in, you get the memory of yourself almost reciting this thought down, and it's exactly as you placed it.
Okay, that was just the half second before I put it in. I was like, ooh, what if I put it in and it's a different thought? Like completely different. I was like, oh, hold the fucking phone.
Yep.
Okay, no, that's cool.
A scary moment of hesitation, but it seems to have proved helpful in this sense.
Sort of look around and look at the clutter and think of the party and I suppose even if I dream, perhaps we are still connected. I'm going to sort of like half close my eyes, not like fully shut them, but almost just like as if I'm like that little bit sleepy. And I'm going to just sort of take a deep breath and I'm going to walk towards the door of my office. But I'm concentrating and thinking when I step out of that door, I'm not going to step out into the auditorium that where it is. I'm almost using the fact that I know that I'm dreaming because I found the thought.
Yep.
To do the dream thing and almost skip past sections of the university, and I want to open the door of the thing and be opening the door to where I believe Molotov would be in like the workshop of his section of the university.
Interesting. You... That's right. You kind of close your eyes, but not fully, so you can still see where you're moving. And with intention... I can see where I'm moving, but it's almost like it's so my attention isn't focused on what's there. So like,
sure, it could be blurring past me, and I'm not focusing. Almost.
You move with intent, and you open the door, knowing that it's banging open and closed. And as you do, you step out. And you expect to hear your footfall on concrete of a blacksmith's floor, but instead it's soft. As your feet almost sink nearly an inch, and you're standing in sand. You feel the door behind you. You haven't quite let go of the handle, but as you look up, you see a desert in front of you. And in the background of the desert, you see the silhouette of a pyramid shape. And it's almost wavering as a mirage. Way, way in the distance. But in front of that, kind of closer to you, you see... Again, wavering, very thin, a humanoid figure. Maybe a couple of 100 feet away from you. You can't make out any details, but this humanoid figure is very slim and slender, is the word. Appears to be tall. You can't make any details on the face, but it seems like it has tied back hair almost, and it's wearing armor, but it's not armor. It's fabric, and it seems to be almost like a high collar of sorts. And as the figure shimmers, you almost see... Is it a tentacle? moving from its head. It starts to approach.
I sort of seeing that it's starting to approach, just sort of almost clock over my shoulder and just check what is behind me,
It's the door to your study.
if anything. The door. But is it just a door? Or do I see the wall around where the study should be?
No, it's just a door.
It's just so I can see through the door into the study.
Yep.
And it's just door frame and desert behind it.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Interesting. I'll sort of think about that for a second and see that it's getting closer. Seems my domain or yours. You're still in quite a bit of control. I suppose there's only one way to find out more. I'm gonna slowly start walking towards it as well.
You start walking towards it, and you feel the sand start like running away from your feet as the door behind you starts moving further and further away. As you get closer to it, you see two tentacles, one on each side, coming out from its face. Silhouette only. And you see behind it, almost wings start appearing out of it. It seems to be taking on this weird shape. Before you see the pyramid behind it, you have a pulse of purple into the sky. And as you focus back down, the figure isn't there.
The whole so it comes from the top of the pyramid and shoots up.
Yeah, it's almost
Sort
like a yeah, and then disappears. But as your vision comes back down, there's no one in front of you, just sand.
It's just sand for as long as I can see. Sort of be a little frustrated at that. Turn back to look and see if my door is still there.
As you turn, you are face to face with the yellow eyes before you wake up.
Hey, look.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spook you that much.
Yeah, Ghost, you were like just about to wake him up and hear a sits bolt upright.
I mean,
Ghost. I'll sort of grab your face and almost pull your cheeks down and look into your eyes a little bit. Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean,
Then I
you're
tell-
weird, but not normally this weird.
Well, that was. Oh,
What's going on?
maybe this. I don't know if these mushrooms are affecting my dreams or not. Just be careful while you're sleeping, okay?
What a sentence.
Sure.
Just be careful while you sleep.
Definitely a look exchanged with Ghost. Just like, what the hell does that even mean?
Fucking, we need to
okay.
be careful while we sleep.
Are
think
you
we're
all
okay.
right?
I'm okay. Yes. It might be this place.
Insight check.
I mean, he's clearly frazzled.
Yeah, but
Definitely.
actively lying, or just Hera being Hera.
I will say I was about to say there is possible things we must discuss, but now is not the time.
Funny that.
I suppose no real role. Hera is a little bit confused. Not necessarily not okay. It does take a bit to sort of stand back though. So definitely woken from some sort of dream.
Alright.
But we have more pressing matters, I think.
I'll be careful while I sleep.
I doubt, and I mean, if you do dream, maybe try to remember. Tell me what you see.
Do you mind if you show me yours, right?
And I'm assuming you're waking Molokov as well.
Yeah, I'll be waking Molokov.
Make a wisdom save.
Yeah, I'll just sort of lean down beside him and just sort of shake the shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
Instinctively reach for the shield, but
It's all right. Your turn.
all quiet.
Just all quiet. Just keep an eye on Hera. She weirder than normal. Had some kind of dream.
You said keep an eye on her, and Molotov probably always just brushes that off. He always keeps an eye on her. Like, she's being weird. She's always fucking weird.
Yeah.
Molotov probably doesn't give that much more than he would normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally.
But yeah, the two of you are awake. The night or the end of the night is yours.
I think I know how I would like to take attempts to take watch.
Go for it.
With my limited dark vision. By limited, I mean non-existent. I will. I think Molokov's gonna. I think probably go to the walls where you can sort of see the myconid roots sort of climbing up. And I think he'll step out of his armor so that he can almost have as much skin contacting the ground, the roots, the everything as possible.
Sure.
And I think he's going to try and tap into those feelings he was feeling before of pain and danger and this being this way and this being another direction. And I think his way of keeping watch for this period is trying to sense for warning signs.
Okay.
And amongst the network.
Give me a it still will be perception.
Okay. Uh, 14.
14. It's a bit hard for Molokov to sense nature. Would have been nice for Ulrich to be here in this situation, but especially with one metal arm as well, that doesn't really connect at all. But in saying that, the myconids are communicating back, which helps. You get the sense of a lot of control has been taken away from them. That they are being used. That the sprouts were one thing, but there is more that is being used. But now that you have the collarbone back, that's kind of probably a good thing. And they give the sense of it's not so much a warning sign, it's more, I guess it could be a warning that something's approaching. But it doesn't feel like something's approaching via distance. That's kind of what trips Molokov up a little bit. It just feels like something is approaching. That's all you get. Yeah, might be a little bit clearer. It
I'm trying to
doesn't
figure out how to
necessarily
ask-
mean you specifically. It means them as a collective.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to ask that. That's not using other knowledge that I don't know. So, carry on.
Hera. You can communicate with Hera.
I think maybe, yeah, we'll see what Hera does, but maybe towards the end we'll communicate a bit of that.
That's yeah. Probably will be watching Molokov, sort of trying to take in and keep an eye, just touching the walls and sensing the plants and stuff. Sort of keeping watch-ish, but very much distracted and sort of you can like every now and then just like sort of looking down and thinking and we'll sort of snap back and I'm gonna maybe if you notice or not, probably spend a lot of the time looking at Ghost and thinking about the little things that he has in his pockets. Do they have eyes at all?
Oh,
They were like little
the slugs?
creatures.
No,
The
think
little
of
slug
like
things.
No, no
tiny little
eyes.
worm that goes to like that circular mouth with the teeth.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that weird thing in the Matrix that goes on his belly button.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
similar
yeah.
to that. Yeah.
You know what a lamprey looks like?
Throw it in the chat.
Nasty
We'll
little.
probably be sort of struggling to actually keep a watch as such.
Sure.
We'll probably end up sort of just circling and following a lot of these myconoids and sort of looking through them and almost mentally just communicating with them and saying that appreciate what you guys do for this whole mountain system. Well, it sounds like you might be helping us a little bit to help the Moon Mother as well. Hopefully there's a little bit more that you guys can do for us, though. And I'm going to just try and see if I can find any mushrooms or fungus that I recognize to be edible or not. I'm just going to try and harvest a couple of mushrooms to use as part of my long rest. I can cook up some treats, and I'm going to make 3 little mushroom cat medley things that can give 3 temporary hit points.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they'll lead you to the ones that are not dangerous and not poisonous.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, there's no real perception check that could be done then if you're busy doing that. But then the rest of the night is between the cats before everyone awakens in the morning.
Yeah, I think it's sort of after Hera settles down for a little bit and starts cooking away. Probably as I'm in the zone a little bit, I always feel him plucking a few
Yeah.
out. Like, shit, this. And then sort of as she settles down, almost come out of it a bit. And they think there's something coming, but can't put my finger on it. They're trying to tell me something, but something is getting closer. How does something get how's something coming without it getting closer, you know? I suppose we don't. I suppose this doesn't make much sense.
No, no, no. I think you're actually asking the right question. Perhaps it is. Hmm. Oh, man. I sort of must take a seat in front of you. What of all these planes that we think of? You know, this space that these guys are trying to get to. What if they are closer than we think they are? You know, perhaps there is somebody closer to us, but just not on this plane. Perhaps in some sort of mirror image of where we are, there is something a lot more dangerous.
But
Molokov, can I ask
yeah.
you something?
Shoot, get it?
When we went in the pyramid, when we dreamed, what do you remember?
Apart from almost again just clutches at where he took a mortal wound. I think beyond pain. Death. That is all I remember.
You don't recall any details. What about when you normally dream? Have you had vivid dreams before?
Of course.
I had vivid dreams before. You guys have.
Now this.
Oh,
Oh,
oh yeah.
no, what were you going to say? I tend to interrupt sometimes.
You have all described this dream we all shared so many times. It's hard for me to tell what I am making up in my head, what may or may not be real.
I suppose that's the fun thing about dreams, is it's all made up in our heads.
I'm starting to get the feeling that that's just not true.
Yes. Well, I almost didn't want to say it, but
Did something happen? Is that why you ask?
I don't know. I felt like I was dreaming before. It's a little bit like I wasn't quite in control, even though I was. That makes sense. Almost like, you know, sometimes you sleep and, well, you might dream, you might not. It doesn't matter, you wake up. It was like I was made to dream. Like I was wanted to dream.
Like something brought you there.
Exactly. But I cannot be for sure. For sure who it would be, but just makes me think
You
of
kept
certain.
returning to this place. Or is this the
What's
first
this,
time
sorry?
you have gone back? It's just, is this the first time you have gone back since our dreams, our shared one?
First time unintentionally, yes. I have been trying a little to be specific when I dream. I think there's a lot more shall be learned from this new possible avenue of power. It's very interesting to me, is it not to you?
You can kind of see here getting that edge. You've seen that glint in the eye before. Actually, you've seen that glint in the eye on a very monumentous point in your history.
I think
Just
Molotov takes a deep sigh.
look, all I'm saying is the way time works so differently there. Just it gives a lot of use for learning and studying is my main interest. Among other things, you know, there's lots of potential there. Look, I just
remember, you have us on your side. And Molotov sort of pats the shield and can't protect you if you don't tell me where you go.
that actually leads me to a question I was going to ask. Forgetting the temple and pre our adventures, is there anywhere in particular that you find yourself dreaming yourself to be often? Say if I wanted to dream and find you, where do you think that might be?
I know when we were kids, you took some of the same trade routes as my tribe, no?
True.
I wonder, did you ever make it to, I've forgotten the name of it now. I think I called it Gadgetzad.
Sure.
Let's call it Gadgetzad. A town called Gadgetzad. It is where I first discovered my gifts.
I think I
It's
remember
about
the town, but
the around that you could learn a trade like mine.
good
You'd
source
know
of
it.
your inspiration. Okay,
It's a very
that's good to know.
mismatched city. Kind of like Shard, but much smaller.
Small is good.
Powers that shouldn't be standing. Lots of cogs moving.
And OHNS 9, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting to know.
I get what you're
I don't.
trying to ask, though. Yes.
I need to find a
I
way to
suppose you would
almost.
find me there at the workshop. Sorry.
No, I'm just finding you is good. You know, look over to the rest of our party though, and our friends' dreams might not be as welcome. It's the only thing I'm worried about.
I say this place because I hope it is there that you find me. But if I'm being honest, I think you know a place that I might go. My dreams that you would share.
That was actually going to lead me to my next question. A little how I was sort of approaching this was to be nice to start with. Where would you want to go? But realistically, if you were having a nightmare, where would I find you? Or do I think I already know where that would be?
I think think the nightmare that you do know. I am already running to you. I don't know if I find you. I don't always. Just glad I didn't know.
I think that is the perfect amount of information. That makes a lot of sense. Look, we need to wake up the others. I think we need to start getting ready.
We should do this.
Should take a moment to enjoy maybe just another minute of just having you two up before moving over to the party and starting to wake everyone and preparing for whatever lies ahead, which is where we'll pick up next time as we'll end the session there.